Aaron Glenn's message throughout OTAs and minicamp was massive for the change of this New York Jets team. Going from Robert Saleh to Aaron Glenn, what is going to be the biggest differences us Jets fans are going to see up close and personal when training camp starts? We're going to talk about it right here on Jets Media. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe here if you're new to the channel. Training camp is right around the corner, folks. We're going to blink our eyes and it's going to be here in just a few weeks, which means preseason Jets football, regular season Jets football. Oh, baby, we are right around the corner, and I'm super excited to break down the New York Jets. I miss you guys, and I'm really excited to talk some Jets football in this video. We're basically going to go deep into what Aaron Glenn's message is heading into training camp, because I think it is the exact message that this Jets football team has been missing for years on end, and why this version of the New York Jets is something to be excited about. I feel like the excitement is a different version than we've seen the previous years, and we're going to talk about exactly what I mean by that throughout the video. So without further ado, let's get straight into business. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is basically the excitement level. And why am I excited for this Jets football team? And it's a big difference of why I was excited for the New York Jets last year and 2 years ago, right? I'm really pumped up for the 2025 New York Jets, not because I'm expecting them to shock the world or win the AFC East or anything like that. It's just more about, I'm just really excited to see what this team looks like, because everything is up in the air. I have no idea what to expect. We can all, predict. We can all hope for the best. We can expect the worst, but we don't know anything until we're going to see this football team go out there against the Pittsburgh Steelers week 1 for Jets Media Day, by the way. Make sure you guys get your tickets because they're selling fast heading into that event. And then, of course, week 2 against Buffalo, week 3, on and on. That's when we're going to really see who this Jets team is. So right here in July, heading into training camp, the big question mark is, can we predict what it's going to be? Do we have any idea what it's going to be? That's why I'm excited. It's going to be a fresh change. Everything is new, from the scheme to the entire coaching staff to the quarterback to the front office, and a lot of the roster is still the same, left over from last year. And the big difference too is last season and 2 years ago, the level of excitement from Jets fans was, wow, this could be the year we finally figure it out. This is the year where Aaron Rodgers is going to lift us from the bottoms of the AFC East and win the division. We're going to go on a playoff run, right? That was our hopes as Jets fans. And that's not the hopes anymore, right? We're not expecting that. And I'm not going to sit here and say that, not having expectations for the season is a positive, because we want to be in a situation where we are confident in our football team doing some damage. But this team's got to prove themselves to us before we are ever going to believe in that. And I think that if you're a Jets fan, you got to go into the season with an open mind, because the message that Aaron Glenn is going to be instilled in these players, which has already started at OTAs in training camp, it's going to be really interesting to see the players that are bought in. And it seems like the entire squad already is. And there's a consistent theme. If you talk to all the Jets players and you listen to all the press conferences, and there's one thing that is very consistent when you hear from Quincy Williams, Justin Fields, Garrett Wilson, all these players get interviewed and they get asked the question, what's your thoughts of Aaron Glenn? And they all have something similar to say in their own way. And it's basically the realism. And what does that mean? Aaron Glenn is as real as it comes. He is going to be that tough coach where he is going to tell you exactly where you need to improve your game. He's not going to sugarcoat anything. He is not going to, baby you and just be buddy-buddy with you. Like, that's what a lot of people thought about Robert Saleh, and I think that's a big shift, especially the guys like Quincy Williams and even Quinnen Williams and Jamie Sherwood, the defensive guys, the guys that were coached by Saleh, even on offense. They're all saying the same things. We're like, damn. Aaron Glenn, he comes up to you and he's going to keep it straight. Like, he calls out the team after a bad day of practice. Like, Robert Saleh did not give off those vibes. It felt like Saleh was just more like, yeah, whatever happens, we're all good. We got Aaron Rodgers. We're all fine. And that didn't work, right? You got to have that sense of accountability. You got to have that sense of lighting a fire underneath even your best players. If you guys did not know this, Quincy Williams was brought into Aaron Glenn's office, and this is just an example of the type of coach that Aaron Glenn is, and they had an hour and a half conversation about how Quincy Williams needs to improve his game. He didn't sit there and start glazing Quincy Williams like, yeah, you're great, man. No, you don't need to worry about anything. No. Aaron Glenn told Quincy, you're a great player, but here are the things you need to work on if you want to take your game to the next level. And those are just little things that are definitely going to be important. Now, I don't want to sit here and just roast Robert Saleh, because the one thing him and his coaching staff did do a good job of is developing players like Quincy and the defense It was not good from a collective, which is why he got fired and is incompetent from a coaching staff perspective. So I'm really intrigued. I think that the coaching staff from Aaron Glenn is going to be really intriguing, and it's not just Aaron Glenn. It's the coordinators underneath him. Steve Wilks, what type of defense is he going to establish? Tanner Engstrand, the offensive identity. So that's really the excitement level and why I'm really excited to see the overall energy at training camp and how it transforms onto the football field. Because when we watch these 2025 New York Jets, there's going to be an opportunity where adversity is going to strike. And it's going to be the biggest character test of all. And that's where we are going to see as fans what this Jets football team is all about. It can happen right when the season begins. Say they start 1-3 and you're faced with adversity, you're in a hole. How do they respond? They start 0-2. Who knows? Maybe it's early on, maybe it's in the middle of the season. Adversity is inevitable with this football team, and I think when that happens, that's going to be the biggest test of, are these New York Jets built for it? Because remember, that was Aaron Glenn's big message in his opening press conference when he was announced as the Jets head coach. We're the freaking New York Jets. We're built for this, talking about adversity. So that mindset is imperative, but is it going to be able to translate in these players' minds? And I do think so. I really do feel like slowly we're starting to see these players, like Justin Fields, when he's talking to the media, for example, he sounds like an extension of Aaron Glenn already. Like he's talking in the terminology of Aaron Glenn, and that's what you want. You want the message from the top guy in Aaron Glenn to be felt throughout it. And another message that Aaron Glenn had to the players after mandatory minicamp as they broke into, their offseason, which we're in right now, where everybody's on their own training, is everything we worked on, take with you and work on off the practice field. When we're not at One Jets Drive, take these qualities so when we get to training camp, we're all on the same page and we're all in sync. And that's going to be important as this Jets football team is going into a season with not a lot of expectations. You ask the common NFL fan about the Jets, they're going to say, yeah, the Jets stink. They're going into a season where they're going to have a top 5 draft pick, right? And that's the expectations nationwide of these 2025 New York Jets. And that's okay. And that's expected. We're unproven. We got a quarterback in Justin Fields who has not proven himself in this league. We have a first-year head coach, and we are a bad football team, objectively. But if you're a Jets fan and you've been following along, you know that there's talent on this roster. I still believe in this talent. I still believe that if this coaching staff is as good as we're hopeful for, we could extract an actual talented roster and string together a positive football season if it all goes together. My prediction for this season is going to be it's going to get ugly before it gets pretty. I think the first half of the season is going to be a bumpy road, and my hope is that they can start stringing together some wins and start showing their true potential in the back end of the season. That's my hope. That's as optimistic as I'm going to get without sounding delusional. I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, guys, I got the Jets winning 11 games, wild card berth. No, I do not expect that. But the biggest question that we're all going into the season with is going to be, who is Justin Fields? Because there's one of two answers. There's only two answers here with Justin Fields. We're either coming off the season saying to ourselves, let's go get our quarterback in the 2026 draft, or we got to extend Justin Fields for the future. Because that's really what's going to be that is really going to be the question. After the season's done, you evaluate Justin Fields. Is this Jets football team going to go into the draft and get one of these top guys in the 2026 draft class, which is, there's a lot of them, or did Justin Fields play good enough and this team showed that he is a guy you can win with? That's all that matters. I'm not looking at stats. I'm not looking at grades. Is Justin Fields going to prove this year that he is a quarterback that you can win with? Because that's all that matters in this league, is winning. And that's all us Jets fans should be worried about when it comes to Justin Fields. Is he going to put us in situations and come through in the clutch enough and not turn the ball over enough and click mentally enough to help us win football games and go into the playoffs? And I'm not saying the Jets need to go to the playoffs this year to prove that Justin Fields is for the future, but he's definitely going to be the guy that everybody's eyes are on. Because if he shows signs of inconsistencies and signs that, yep, he's a long-term backup quarterback, that's what next offseason is going to be about, is the quarterback in the draft. So I'm curious to see where that goes. I'm rooting for Justin Fields. I want him to be the guy long-term, but I'm also not attaching myself to that idea, because there's a possibility that it's not the case. And there also is a world where it does click for him, and all of a sudden Justin Fields prove that, yep, this is a guy you want to invest long-term in because he proved it this season with the Jets. We shall see. Let me know where you guys think about the video and your thoughts about the message from Aaron Glenn and your anticipated season of Justin Fields coming up. What are your thoughts? Is he going to break out this year? Is he going to prove just to be not good enough? And we're going back to square one to the 2026 draft. I'm hopeful that Justin Fields is going to break out this year, but you never know. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, folks. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Comment down below a plain emoji if you stayed all the way to the end of the video. Oh, I'm fired up, man. Hope you guys are having a fantastic summer, by the way. And when the training camp comes along, don't you guys worry. I'm going to be as active as I ever been on this YouTube channel. So don't you guys worry. Hit that notification bell so you get notified every time your boy makes some videos. And I'll see you next time. Let's go Jets. Peace out.